Hi everybody and welcome back to Kevin's Upfront Opinion. So, I want to speak today about Southport murderer stroke terrorist, whatever you want to call them at the end of the day, comes under both brushes because obviously I believe he got something like 50 years in jail. Now, I wasn't really going to talk about this because obviously I haven't got all the information and I doubt all the information will be put into the public domain for an awful long time. But what I thought I would speak about is there's a lot of people out there jumping on the bandwagon, and this happens all the time when big high profile case like this happens, that why should we chuck him in jail for the next 50 years if he lives that long, to be honest, where we're probably going to spend something like, well, they're claiming something like £40 million of taxpayers' money is going to go towards paying for him to have a nice cushy life in jail. Their words, not mine, because I've never been to jail, so I don't know what it's actually like. And why don't we just bring back the death penalty and hang him like we did back in the day? Now, for anybody who's watched my videos in the past, I've always been against the death penalty, and these are the reasons. One, if you statistically look around the world, America is a classic case. Yes, I know there's arguments that crimes fallen in America, but has the death penalty ever been a deterrent? The amount of taken into account, the amount of murders that happen in the United States, the answer is no. It's not a deterrent. So, the only way that I would agree to it, and this is categorically how I would agree to it, is if it is categorically 100% a guarantee and there's no arguments that they did it. So if you take, for instance, this guy, it's common knowledge he did it. If you take, for instance, the murder of Lee Rigby, don't want to tread on obviously what happened to him, there's footage, everything, it's known that he did it. But there are too many cases where you could go back over the cases, well-known cases and less well-known ones, where there's an argument. You could say, did he do it? Are they 100%? Yeah, I appreciate a jury found him guilty, but is it completely out of the realms that he might not have done it? Because if you remember back in the day, as soon as they got that conviction, they were dead pretty quickly. And as soon as you've hung them, or however you're going to do it, there's no going back. They're dead at the end of the day. So, what I'm going to say is, one, should the death penalty actually be brought back for certain crimes? And which crimes would you actually bring it back for? Would it be just murder? Would it be terrorism? Okay. And then the other argument is, how do you decide which ones actually get it? So how serious does it need to be? Because you're always going to have that argument of how serious does it need to be. If it's a case of, is it a child murderer? A lot of people would argue definitely. If you take cases that have happened in the last 20 years, there have been some very high profile child murderers. A lot of people would agree that they should get it. This one a classic case. Terrorists, they got no interest in our lives at the end of the day, a lot of them. Should they get it? Paedophiles, rapists, who should get it? And this is where the fundamental problem is, because if you're going to rely on politicians nowadays, it's not like back in the day, 30, 40 years ago, politicians always looked at what was best for their constituents. They listened to their constituents. Nowadays, politicians only listen to their parties. If I go and send a email to my local MP, she's a lovely lady, Caroline Dynages. Fundamental problem, if I get an email back from her, I know it's basically an email straight from Conservative HQ, because I've had enough emails off her in the past. And that's the problem with modern day politicians. So if you're going to do it, you might as well just go and speak to Labour's HQs or Conservatives HQs or Reforms and let them make the decision, because the politicians aren't going to be making the decision at the end of the day. So I'm going to let you all think about that and dwell on that. Let us know in the comments what you personally think of whether it should be brought back or not, and for what it should be brought back. So let us know in the comments down below. But for now, thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again a bit later.